Hey everybody, it's Christine here, and welcome to episode 8, case number 7 from the Unknown Humans Remain podcast. I appreciate your time here today as we're trying to call attention to these unidentified deceased people, just like this case here that we're going to talk about, that have been deceased, unclaimed, unknown, unidentified for way too long. And we're trying to bring attention to that. And so today, this case that we're talking about is number 7. And this is from California. It is a male who was found on May 13th, 1915. And if you've noticed a little pattern here, I've been trying to start with some of the, I kind of try to randomize it, but I've been also looking for some of those that have were found a very, very, very long time ago. Because their family, whoever, God knows whoever, has been waiting a really, really long time. And this is over 100 years, right? This is terrible. So anyhow, yes. So this male was found May 13th, 1915, and we're going to take a look at that case. Okay, when we go to the NamUs database, we've got our unidentified person case number in NamUs, which is 8428. It is a white male Caucasian. The body was found May 13th, 1915 in Colton, California. And they estimated the age of the person at the time they were found between 40 and 60 years old. We've got the ME's case number here. Crazy. 1915 and case number 2, deceased person number 2. I'm stumbling on my words because I can't believe that this person, it's 2023. I can't believe this has gone on so long. So it really pains me. And I appreciate you guys listening to this. Let's see what we can do for this poor male. So on the demographics, it says it's a male, a white Caucasian. Nothing really here, of course, with the name, because that would be, right, easily identifiable. It's an adult pre-60, so they think that he was before 60 years old. They estimated him to be between 40 and 60. They're estimating the year of death at 1915. And they're assuming that he died just weeks before he was found. His height was estimated at 5'11" with 150 pounds. Yes, okay, I was looking at the date. So the body was found May 13th, 1915, and the NamUs case was created January 20th, 2011. So thank goodness these cases got put in here, but look at the discrepancy, that this is part of the problem. Grateful for the system, but the problem with the system that, look, it went from 1915 to 2011. Was that before somebody dug around in the archives to put the poor gentleman in here? And then it's 2011, we're 2023. Okay, so terrible. Again, the location, Colton, California, in San Bernardino County. And this is bad. A white male adult found hanging from a willow tree in the river bottom, 2 miles southwest of Colton, California, designated John Doe 02-1915. He was described as being between 45 and 50 years of age, 5'10" to 5'11", 150 to 160, chestnut brown hair, slightly balding. Identity can only be established by DNA. All parts were recovered. Decomposing putrefaction. You can Google that. And this is kind of good that we have a little bit of a description here, and it looks like we have some hair. Hopefully they retain that, because we can do some good things with hair even without the root. But this might be good here, because we could have some roots. We got brown hair, chestnut brown, slightly bald. dark sandy mustache, no eye color known, and no other distinctive features. We're going to go through all these items first, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Also present at the scene was a cane, described as a heavy hickory walking stick near the body. But this was, goodness, you guys, you listen to this, you know, it was in the water, okay? So was the walking stick hanging from a willow tree in the river bottom. Okay, so maybe he was not in the river. Okay, so there was a walking stick near the body, clothing not described on the body. I don't know. Okay, these just astound me. I'm sorry. Clothing found hanging on the tree. So no I don't know, no clothing on the body. I'm sorry for those of you that are listening, but you'll see when I'm trying to read this. I'm seeing these the just as I start reading them to you. Clothing found hanging on tree, tan overcoat, raincoat, dealer label Ransom and Salisbury, San Antonio, Texas. A gray hat, dealer label Josky Brothers Co. Department Store, San Antonio, Texas. A shirt with a collar and tie. No eyewear found. No footwear. Once again, no shoes. So we have, this is, and I don't mean to laugh. We have people, I just don't understand this. We have people with no clothes and shoes. And then we have people with clothes and no shoes that are just, I don't know if this is oversight or what, but these things are just crazy. So he's got no shoes, but he's got an overcoat, a hat, a walking stick, and a shirt with the collar and tie. No pants, apparently, or shoes. So I don't know what happened there. No jewelry. So let's see if there's any images. We don't have any images. Okay, so it sounds like it's very difficult when you read these. So I thought the man was floating. So it's very disturbing at this point. He was found hanging. So when we hear hanging, we immediately think homicide. Did somebody hang him, or was it a suicide? Okay. So there was no identification or anything like that. I'm just throwing out my ideas here. Typically, if it's going to be a suicide, you're going to leave, even if you don't leave some sort of a note, you're going to leave some sort of identification because you want people to know. Okay, so this sounds more just on its face. I don't know why the shoes and the pants were taken. This doesn't sound good. It kind of leans towards foul play. All right. But it looks like we've possibly got some good DNA here with the hair, the mustache, and the walking stick, a heavy hickory walking stick. So is that somebody that likes to hike? Could it have been a weapon? They don't mention anything with the bones having, skull fracture or anything like that. And we've got this clothing here that talks about the dealer label, usually with the overcoat, with the label in there and things like that. That, and going back in the day, I'd have to look at that. But, that might be some pretty distinctive clothing or something of, I don't know, a higher status or whatever. I mean, it sounds like this was a gentleman that was pretty put together, right? I know they wore hats in the day, but he's got his overcoat, he's got his hat, right? I'm kind of thinking G-Man, right? Because I'm thinking, it doesn't say, but I've got the picture of the fedora and the raincoat, the shirt with the collar and the tie. And we've got everything that came from Texas. So what the heck is he doing in California? with no shoes and no pants. Again, crazy. And he's hanging with no shoes and no pants. So I could make all kinds of who knows what with that. Like, did something eat the paint? Like, I don't know. But yeah, so you could do some research on, let's see where that was. Let's look on the map. Okay, so today, if this is the right, what does it say? In the river bottom, 2 miles southwest of Colton, California. So I'm not sure. Okay, this is probably the river. It doesn't say which river. 2 miles southwest of Colton, California, in the river bottom. So I'm assuming the river bottom might be some kind of flood control feature or something like that. So this doesn't say that this is Colton. And this is, it's showing these GPS coordinates, and I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. Okay, so here's Colton. Okay, and Colton covers, it looks like, all this area, including this river. Now, we're talking about 1915 too. So river bottom, put it in satellite here and just see if we can, 2 miles southwest of Colton. So if this is Colton, 2 miles, I'm looking at, you can't see it because it's not in frame. 1 mile is about the length of this thing here. So 2 miles southwest, I'm thinking maybe somewhere over here. And see, it looks like this riverbed is dry. Okay, so somewhere over here. And this would be a good question to look at. He was found May 13th. Okay, so we would want to say, does this riverbed, right, we're looking at it here, does this riverbed ever have water flow in it? This has a little, I don't know if it's just green. Okay, does it, so we need to go 2 miles southwest from Colton here, and we need to see what the town area of Colton was at that point, right? Because sometimes they annex land. Okay, so southwest is over here somewhere, and I would suggest looking at, does the river flow? It looks like it's coming from over here. Does it flow? What months does it flow? You know, where the tree was and what was over there in 1915. Okay, this is a pretty big area here. Trying to get it to where the miles. So yeah, this would be, maybe, I'm just looking at the little Google measurement, about, well, it's a little bit more than 2 miles from here, but I don't know if they're considering this the Colton city proper. So anywhere, I'm thinking, in this range. So I don't know what happened to this poor gentleman. Once again, it's very interesting because we've got weird stuff, weird, crazy stuff. Well, I'd love to have you get involved if you're interested in helping on these cases. The best thing that we can do, again, we're trying to get the word out about these poor people. We're trying to raise money. Information on helping out is below in the comments. If you could like, subscribe, share. We have a community that we discuss these cases and we work these cases. We're trying to get sponsors to raise money to pay for the genetic testing for these folks. And then members of our group who are forensic genetic genealogists have offered to volunteer their time to help identify these people, to get them back to their family. So I really appreciate your time. If there's any way that you think you can help out, and God knows if you know who this person is, please feel free to reach out to us or reach out to the law enforcement agency, and let's give this poor man a decent burial or decent remembrance, and give him his dignity, and let his family know. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.